Hello and welcome to my video vignette of adolescence. I'm going to talk about the years I spent at boarding school as an adolescent. So you can see me on that first slide. I was 7 in that picture. I grew up on the country. We had a lot of fun: horses, bikes, dogs, swimming in the river, great fun. But I went to boarding school because our nearest school was an hour and a half away on a bus and not terribly good. Anyway, so I ended off to boarding school, and here you can see fabulous me. Oh, 14-year-olds, aren't they fabulous? And really playing to the imaginary audience, imagining who you are in terms of all of these different things, like, oh, I'm so amazing. Anyway, so that was fun. And it was good because there are a whole lot of different new people, interesting people doing all sorts of different things. And so there's me in the boarding house at 14, thereabouts. Anyway, so when I was almost 16, so as you can see, the problem was that I grew quite tall then by the time I was 16, I was my current height and towered over the boys that we did dancing class with, and so it was a bit of a challenge, but I thought it was pretty hot anyway. So I was confident, though. My parents supported me to explore who I was and to become an interesting person and to be adventurous as I wanted to. And then so when I got into year 12, sixth form as it was called then, I was pretty much, I was a bit of a nerd. I was a prefect, I was a house captain, I rode, I played hockey, I played the piano, I did all sorts of things. And my parents were wonderful because they allowed me to explore all these different options, to continue to play the piano, even though I wasn't sort of going towards some the higher grades, but really to play the piano because I loved it. And so it was really great because it allowed me to really sort of work out what I stood for as such, which was not being part of the cool girls, because mine didn't fit in, and I considered myself much too bright for that sort of rubbish. But there you go. And so all of those sorts of things really shaped me to the fact that when I was at the end of year 12, ready to take on the world and very happy to be adventurous. So theoretically, how might we understand this better? So it's definitely, I think the theme that comes through this is about Erickson's stages of identity formation. I was actively working through Marcia's identity stasis through the identity stasis. So through the crisis, which is the exploration, and then through the commitment to who it was. And so by the end of adolescence, I had done both of those. In fact, I'd say probably by the time I was 16 that I'd worked out the sort of person I wanted to be, that to pursue a career, to pursue education were much more important. And also that to be confident in myself, that I didn't have to belong to the trendy peer group. I could be comfortable in being my own person, which was a real help then as the years went by. So how similar or different am I to the literature on boarding schools? Well, there's actually not a lot out there. Most of it is about Indian or Indigenous students, Native Americans, I'm sorry about the term, who were sent to boarding schools for acculturation. So I'm like, not really my experience. So in terms of this, some of the literature I did find, though, was both similar and different to my experiences. Firstly, the girls do academically well in all girls' schools, as well as day girls and boarders within the school, and that certainly was my experience, is that the day girls and the boarders were all really good friends. We all did pretty much as well, and there's as much effort as we put in. Attachment can be broken. I did see it with some young boarders, but certainly it wasn't in my case, and also my parents made a great deal of effort to come and see me. I'm not a boy. It was pretty hard to be similar to their identity formation. People who were sure of their identity had less behavioural problems, and that was certainly true in my case. So in terms of the summary then is that whether you live at home or at boarding school, it is important to work out what you stand for and to be committed to that. And it's much easier where your parents support you. And pretty much that was my experience, that my parents were generous to allow me to be someone new, to work out who I was, and to be ready for the rest of my life. Thank you very much. And here are the references.